Hi everybody, welcome to Universal Home Learning. I'm Coach Derek, this is Eli. We're going to give you some tutorial videos about how you can work some advanced gymnastics at home. We're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to begin with some basic jumping jacks. So go ahead Eli, do about 5 or 10 jumping jacks. Excellent. Now we're going to go into some straight jumps. Now with the straight jumps, what you want to do is make sure your arms are up by your ears. When you leave the floor, you want to keep your knees straight. You want to bend a little bit when you land, but in the jump, you want straight jumps. Go ahead. Awesome. Again, like 5 or 10 jumps just to keep the blood flowing. Now we're going to go into running in place, but we want high knees. So you want to bring your knees up to about waist height. Go ahead and do about 5 seconds of high knee runs. Good job. All right, now we're going to go into squat jumps. Now for squat jumps, you want to spread your feet just a little bit wider than shoulder width. And with your arms, when you squat down, you want to bring them back. And then when you jump up, you're going to bring them up. So it's just going to be one jump like that. Do that about 5, 10 times. Awesome. And then we're going to just repeat that sequence again. So Eli, go ahead and take it away. Perfect, well done. That's just to get the blood flowing, because when you start any of these exercises, you want to start from a warm body, a higher heart rate, just so we can get things flowing. Now that we've all warmed up, we're going to start into our flexibility. So we're going to start with our flexibility. We're going to start with our arms. We're going to do arm circles forward. And you want to do alternating one arm at a time. Forward for about, again, 5, 10 seconds. And then we're going to go backwards. When you go backwards, you want to do both arms together. So go ahead and do backward arm circles. Excellent. Now when we stretch our neck, we're going to start with our neck, leading our right ear to our right shoulder, but when you do that, you're going to pull on your left arm, because that really stretches the muscles and the ligaments in your neck. Again, about 5 seconds, and then alternate to the other side. And then when your ear is over your left shoulder, you pull down on your right arm. Good job. Okay, now we're going to come down to the floor. We're going to sit down in our pike. So pike just means our legs are together in front of our body, and we're going to do our pike stretch. So first we're just going to do flex our feet, point our toes. Flex our feet, point our toes. About 3, 4, 5 times, and then it'll be good enough to go. And then when we stretch down, we're going to bring our arms up over our heads and stretch down. About 5 seconds. If you point your toes, excellent. Good job, Eli. Now I'm going to come up, Eli's going to stay down. We're going to go into our straddle. So straddle, just spread your legs. And we're going to start over the left side. So a great way to do that stretch is take your right arm over your left leg, take your left arm and bring it toward your right leg. There you go. Good job, Eli. Hold that for about 5 seconds. And then just do the opposite for the other leg. So left arm over right leg, right arm underneath, pointing to the left foot. Perfect. And if you notice, Eli's doing really good. He's keeping his toes pointed. That also helps just keep that stretch going and stretch underneath the leg. Now down the middle, we're going to stay in our straddle. We're just going to go straight forward. Good job. About 5 seconds. Perfect. And then the next part of this, we call it a pancake. And what you want to do is just keep your back straight. With the middle stretch, you arch your back a little bit to just lean forward. For the pancake, you want to keep your back as flat as you can. So try that, and keeping your back from bending. There you go, good. All right, now from here, we're going to go into our middle split. So your legs are still going to be straddled, but he's going to lift up and keep his hips in line with his ankles and his toes, so that it's one straight line from one foot all the way to the other foot. Again, just hold it for about 5 seconds. Perfect. Come on out. Now, we're going to go back into our pike and just stretch our ankles. We're going to roll our ankles. We can roll them clockwise or to the right, and counterclockwise to the left. Excellent. And now for shoulders, we're going to stay in the seated piking position, but we're going to bring our hands behind us, pinky to pinky, as close as you can get them, and then lean back. If you can get them touching, fantastic, but that's pretty advanced flexibility, so don't worry about it if you're not quite there yet. Hold that for about 5 seconds. And then come up. Now you're going to sit in your butterfly, which is the sole of your feet to the sole of your feet. You don't really want to grab your toes because you don't want to pull your toes up. You can rest your hands on top. That's fine because you don't want to be working your ankles right now because you really want to be flexibility in the hip flexors. And just so press your hands down. And if you want to just give it a little bit of stretch, try to press down on your knees. You can use your hands to do that. Just to sort of really extend that stretch a little bit. And if you want to shake it out, you can bounce it just a little bit to warm that up. All right. Now we're going to come up and work on our wrists. So you want to be on your hands and your knees. You want to put your hands, palms flat on the ground, and just rock back and forth about 3 or 4 times. Good, Eli. And then if you're able, turn your fingers all the way so that the fingers are pointing towards your knees. And do the same thing. Rock back and forth about 3 or 4 times. Good job. Excellent. Now we're going to come up into our lunge. So I'm going to have Eli turn sideways and face me this way. So with a lunge, what's really, really important is that you keep a straight line. So you want to start with your feet together and step out and then bring your knee to the ground. And then you want to have, lean into it. So you can start with a straight leg and then lean into it. What's really, really important is that you don't want the knee to go past the toe because that's kind of, overextension on your knee joints. And you want to keep your back leg in a straight line. Sometimes it's easy to turn it in. You want to try to avoid that. You want to keep a whole straight line down the body. Hold that for about 5 seconds and then straighten that front leg and lean over it if you can. If you've got the flexibility, you can get your nose all the way to your toe. That's fantastic. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to stretch straight out into our front split. Same thing. We want that straight line. We're going to keep that leg in line with the body. We don't want this knee to bend. Toes pointed. Perfect. And come on out of that, Eli. We're going to do the same thing the other direction. So we're going to go into the lunge with the left leg forward this time. Start straight and then just lean into it because you want to really feel that on the back leg. That's where you're feeling the stretch. Good job. And then straighten that front leg out. Perfect. And then from there, stretch straight out into that same split. And again, watch the back leg because you want to make sure that it stays in line and not bend underneath the body. All right, perfect. Good job. And then the last stretch is for the back. So we call it a bridge. And this is because this is advanced gymnastics. So Eli, if you would like to face your feet this way and go up into your bridge. So a great way to get into your bridge. Most of you should already know this, but get your hands up by your shoulders and then just lift your hips and your belly all the way up to the ceiling. Make sure it's really important to stay off your head. You don't want your head to be on the ground. And what Eli's doing is he's keeping his legs together, which is also a little bit more challenging, but it's really important that you keep your heels on the floor because that helps improve the stretch through the back. And about 5 seconds. Good, Eli, come on out. And that is your warm-up and your flexibility. Thanks so much. Okay, now that we've warmed up and we've got some flexibility down, we're ready to work on our skills for this video section. Okay, we're going to work on 3 skills. We're going to do a standard handstand, back roll to a push-up, and we'll start working on our press handstand. So, first we're going to start with a standard handstand. So Eli, if you come over here to the side and facing this way, really important elements of the handstand is you want to start in a lunge. Now with your lunge, go ahead and get into your lunge, Eli. Okay, really, really important is you want to have this back leg straight. You don't want him to bend it, you want it straight. The second element, on the front knee that's bent, you want the front foot to be turned out just a little bit. Turned out just means your toes pointing away from the body, not in towards your body or straight, because that gives you a little bit more stability to get into the handstand. Second element is you're going to tee out. Now, if you see his arms are by his ears, you want to keep that the entire process through the entire motion of the handstand. So go ahead and go into your tee. Now, what you really want here is to make your body into a T shape. You want your back leg that was straight to be straight behind you, your weight of your body over your front leg, your arms still covering your ears. You want to keep his body straight and the leg straight down. The back leg that was straight just comes straight up. You're levering it out into a T. All right, so go back into your lunge, and now you're going to go straight through the T into a handstand. Good, and come down. So that's going to be one of our skills that we're going to be working on in this video. Second skill is going to be called a back roll to push-up. So Eli, if you want to come forward a little bit. Perfect. Now the back roll, a couple of different things, elements that we want to work on in this is you want to have your hands in front of you, your fingers pointing towards each other. You don't want to interlock them, even though that's sort of like what they're going to be doing, because you want to have this, and that is going to be how you're going to end the position. Second part of it is you want to sit into the roll. So go ahead and Eli, just go ahead and just sit down and like start the roll, but don't fully complete it through. Right there. So you saw he curved his back as he sat down, because the next part is he's going to bring his feet up over his body into the back roll. So go ahead and finish all the way through. Good. Now you see his hands are still fingers pointing towards each other. He's ended in the push-up position. His head is pretty neutral. His body is making a pretty straight line. That's what we're looking for, and that's going to be the skill that we're going to be judging and working on the star levels for this video. If you get 1 star, you want to just get yourself all the way through into the push-up position. To get 2 stars, you want to go all the way through, but don't bend your elbows as you go over. Try to keep your arms straight. Eli, try to do a back extension with straight arm. That was pretty good. He bent him a little bit, but by and large, his arms were pretty straight. Now, what we have here is we have a mat here. If you've got hardwood floors, or if you're working somewhere like in a garage where it's concrete, bring a pillow, bring a couch cushion, so that way there's something soft for their toes to land on. And then for 3 stars, we're going to be looking at the overall form. As his legs are coming over his body, we want to see that his toes are pointed. We want to see that as he's coming over, his body is in a hollow body position, and that he lands into push-up with the straight arms. That's going to be the 3-star. Then the last skill that we're going to work on is something that we're going to be putting in more featured in the star skills for a future video, is going to be called a press handstand. So the press handstand starts differently than the standard handstand, because you don't start from a lunge. You want to start from a wide stance, about double shoulder width apart, and then you want to put your hands straight flat on the floor. And then to get into the press handstand, what you're doing is you're pressing basically into the floor to lift your feet. So you want to lean, once you're in this position, keep your head in a neutral position, and you want to lean your body forward so that your shoulders go past your hands to change your center of gravity, and you lift your heels into your toes, and then you're going to just press into the floor to get your feet off the ground. Go ahead and give it a try. Not bad, not bad. So that was Eli's effort to just do a full press. As you're learning, if you need to just hop off the floor a little bit just to get your feet off the floor to get into the handstand, that's okay, because that's just getting it started. Over there and then bring up. Keeping that same straight alignment, push through your shoulders, squeeze your bottom, and come down. That's the motion for getting into the press handstand. The wall is a great way to practice this, because that'll help get you quickly alignment straight into your hips over your shoulders. So let's go ahead and set up against the wall. You want to place your hands probably about 6 or so inches, because remember, you need to lean over your hands. You want to get your shoulders past your hands before you go up, because you need to have that center of gravity shifted so that you can have some room to get your hips up into the handstand. So go ahead and lean and get your hips up, good, and straddle up into the handstand. And once you're up, then you can press off the wall a little bit to make sure you're hitting your total vertical handstand, because remember, your hands were not right up against the wall, they were set back a little bit. And that is our skills video for today. Now we're going to go into our strengthening. So for the strengthening portion of this video, we're going to work on our hollow body holds. So Eli, you go ahead and lay on your back. Now for the hollow body hold, what you're doing is you're going to be tightening your core. So you're going to be lifting your ankles and your head and shoulders off the floor. Now this is the hollow body. Now, the strengthening and to get the stars, it's going to be based on time. So you can come out of that, Eli. Thank you very much. You want it for 1 star, hold that position for 15 seconds. Again, keep your shoulders and head as well as your toes and feet off, and your ankles off the floor. So 15 seconds for 1 star, 25 seconds for 2 stars, 35 seconds for 3 stars. So we're going to get into a push-up position. So head this way, feet behind. Now for planks, it's really, really, really important that you keep yourself in straight alignment. If you want to go a little bit hollow, that's okay. But what you don't want to do is go full yoga like downward facing dog, because that's a totally different workout, different stretch. Plank is going to be working your core because you want to keep that tight. Keep your arms straight, pressing down into the floor, keeping your legs straight, a solid straight line, holding that for 5, 10, 15 seconds. For advanced, 15, 25, 35. Again, that's going to be kind of our basic system of unit time measurement for this. And Eli, come on out of that. Thank you very much. And then we're going to do some push-ups. So back into that plank hold is basically the up part of the push-up. And you can either be on your toes or you can point your feet and keep your toes underneath you. Either is okay for now. For the advanced videos, we're going to be working on 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 push-ups. But you really want to keep that straight line down your body. When you come down, you do not want to bring just your chest to the floor, and you don't want to drop your hips. You want to keep that straight line. Right, you don't want to do that. You want to keep yourself all the way in alignment. Now go ahead and do 5 push-ups. 2, good. Good. So again, that's the strengthening portion. We've got the hollow body hold to earn the stars. We want to hold the plank for a similar seconds, 15, 25, 35. And then we want to do push-ups, 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 push-ups. And that's going to be your video for this week. We want to talk about how we can earn our stars in the flexibility portion of this video. We're going to work on our pike stretch. So from a standing position, we're going to have our feet together. And thank you, Eli, for turning them to the side. So to get 1 star in the pike stretch, you're going to want to keep your legs straight, your knees straight. You want to just bend from the hips down to mid-shin. That's going to be 1 star. Good job. To get 2 stars, you want to get yourself all the way down to reach to your toes. Good job. And to get 3 stars, you want to be able to put your palms flat on the floor. All without bending your knees. Bending your knees is going to kind of defeat the purpose of the stretch, so if you're not all the way to palms on the floor yet, that's okay. Work on 1 star and then try to get to the 2-star progression. Then the more you do it, the more flexibility you'll become. You will be able to get to your full palms on the floor for the 3-star stretch.